Welcome to today's Explainer. All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're conducting a structural audit of our personal goals. So often we get totally caught up in the mechanics of what we want to achieve, right? But we completely ignore the invisible architecture of how we're actually thinking about those achievements. So today, we're going to use the foundational concepts of Neuro-linguistic Programming, or NLP, to absolutely smash through those barriers we probably don't even realize we've built. Which brings us to a huge question. Have you put a mental ceiling on your achievements? It's such a provocative thought straight from our source material. We constantly sell ourselves short just by, not believing we can actually do something. It's like we construct this invisible ceiling out of our own assumptions, and then we spend our entire lives just bumping our heads against it, totally convinced it's a permanent fixture of the room. But what if it's not? What if that ceiling is literally 100% imaginary? Here's the thing. A belief is not a fact. It's really just our best guess about how things are at this exact moment. When we do that mechanical goal setting, we tend to treat our limiting beliefs as hard, objective data. But in reality, our subjective beliefs, those best guesses, are what actually dictate our outcomes. If your best guess is that you can't succeed, your neurological system will actively filter out any opportunity that would prove you wrong. It's basically confirmation bias on autopilot, right? Your brain just scans for evidence to prove your limits are real and completely ignores anything that says otherwise. So to figure out how to dismantle these ceilings, we're anchoring our whole approach in NLP. The core philosophy here is pretty fascinating. It says that your thoughts, that's the neuro part, are directly affected by words, the linguistic part, which then ultimately leads to your actions or the programming. The words we use to describe our goals and that little internal dialogue we have about our own capabilities, they are literally programming our ability to achieve them. If you want to change your actions, you absolutely have to audit the words and thoughts driving them. Okay, so here's our agenda for today's audit. 1, the goal-setting dilemma. 2, the PAW process revealed. 3, auditing for possibility. 4, identifying mental ceilings. 5, do you deserve it? And 6, passing the ecology check. Let's get to it. Section 1, the goal-setting dilemma. Why well-formed goals still fail. Now, if you've ever felt the sheer frustration of meticulously planning a goal only to watch it just fizzle out, this is for you. We sabotage ourselves with invisible antagonists, false beliefs. You can have a goal that is specific, measurable, completely under your control, checking every single box of a well-formed outcome. But, as our sources point out, if your untested assumptions are operating in the background, they act as this invisible antagonist. Imagine sitting in your car pressing the gas pedal to the absolute floor while your other foot is slamming on the brake. That is exactly what a false belief does to a perfectly good goal. Section 2, the PAW process revealed, the 3 keys to achievement. All right, so how do we lift a brake? To achieve any outcome, our sources tell us you need to believe 3 specific things about it. 1, possibility, it is actually possible to achieve. 2, ability, you are personally able to achieve it. And 3, worthiness, you deserve to achieve it. Possibility, ability, and worthiness. PAW, the PAW process. These 3 pillars are totally interdependent. If even one of these is missing from your belief system, the whole structure holds you down, and that mental ceiling stays perfectly intact. Section 3, auditing for possibility. Is it actually possible? Let's look at that first pillar. We frequently confuse possibility with ability. A really crucial insight from NLP is that we mistake a lack of knowledge, like literally just not knowing how to do something, for a total lack of possibility. But they're different. Possibility is about the objective reality of the world, while ability is about your own personal capability within it. Conflating the two is honestly one of the most common ways we artificially cap our own potential. We fall into this massive trap where we think something is not possible when really we just do not know how to do it yet. Look, yes, as human beings, we absolutely have physical limits, right? We aren't superheroes. But as the source material sharply reminds us, we rarely know what those limits actually are until we test them. If you don't know how to code a website or speak a new language or launch a startup, it doesn't mean those things are objectively impossible. It just means you're currently missing a specific strategy to execute them. That's it. Section 4. Identifying your mental ceilings, auditing your ability. Shifting our focus inward now, listen to this quote. You have not yet reached the limit of what you're capable. I really want you to let that statement breathe for a second. One of the core assumptions of NLP is that people work perfectly. Nobody is actually broken. We're just perfectly executing strategies that might be, poorly designed. Keeping an open mind to the fact that your upper limits are completely untested is step one to actually expanding your ability. Just think about this bizarre behavioral pattern we all share for a moment. People own up much more readily to what they are bad at than what they are good at. I mean, listen to folks at a party for just a few minutes, and you'll hear this continuous string of admissions about what they can't do. Oh, I'm terrible at math, or I could never speak in public. Guys, this isn't modesty. Modesty is simply not bragging about what you can do. Announcing your inabilities, that's a self-imposed limitation. It's you actively building that mental ceiling brick by brick using your own words.
Section 5. Do you deserve it? Auditing your worthiness.
So this brings us to the most difficult and deeply hidden part of the PAW triad. Do you deserve to achieve your goals? Now, NLP itself doesn't judge whether goals are morally or ethically right. It's simply a toolkit, right? It's a process to get you from your present state to your desired state. But for the process to actually work, you must genuinely believe you are worthy of the outcome. Think of it kind of like imposter syndrome. If you subconsciously feel you don't deserve success or wealth or a great relationship, you will inevitably find a way to dismantle your own progress right before you cross the finish line.
So, if you're struggling with possibility, ability, or worthiness, you need a rigorous diagnostic tool. When you hit an obstacle, run it through these 3 questions to challenge the limiting belief. First, is it a genuine physical limit? Like, really be honest here. Second, is it simply a lack of motivation? Maybe you just don't value the goal enough to put in the work, and that's fine. Or third, is it an untested belief about yourself that you don't actually know is true? Because if it's an untested belief, it literally only exists inside your head. You have to go test it in the real world. Once you do, it'll either prove to be a real physical limit, or you'll realize it was just an illusion holding you back the whole time.
Section 6. Passing the ecology check, the final virtual reality check. Before you fully commit to your audited goal, you have to do this final safety mechanism. An ecology check ensures a goal fits the wider picture without unfortunate consequences for yourself or others. Sometimes you can audit a goal perfectly for possibility, ability, and worthiness. You are hyped up and ready to go. But wait, you have to check your motives. Are hidden negative emotions driving you? If your goal is to work 80 hours a week to achieve massive financial success, you've got to ask how that impacts the ecology of your health, your family, and your overall well-being. Seriously, does the outcome have unfortunate consequences? In NLP, this step is often called future pacing. You mentally rehearse achieving that desired state. You step right into that future reality. How does it feel? Does achieving this new goal create terrible new problems in your life or your environment? Because if it doesn't feel right, you need to step back and adjust the outcome so it actually aligns harmoniously with your broader life. Ultimately, you have to ask yourself one final thing. Do you want the goal enough to put in the time and effort? After you've audited your mental ceilings, challenged your limiting beliefs, and passed that ecology check, well, the ball is entirely in your court. NLP makes you completely responsible for your outcomes. The process clears away all that mental fog, leaving you with a very simple choice. If you want it enough, the path is clear. If you don't, drop the goal and go find one you truly care about. The ceiling is gone, so what's your next move?